Hi, I'm Naofumi Iwatani, and I'm a guy with a stick. In my everyday life, I was a otaku, a run-of-the-mill college otaku. Um, Now I got transported into another world by a book to be a guy with a stick. You kidding me? Why did I get the stick? I couldn't tell you. While the other guys get a bow, a spear, and a sword, I get a stick with a weird gem in the middle of it. I'd rather be just wearing a cloak with a pair of daggers, okay? I'd rather be doing that. But no, I have a stick. Well, I'm going to bring you on my story where I kick ass as the legendary bow staff hero. Hello, it is me, We Anime, or Anime We, and I'm here to bring you part one of What If Naofumi was the legendary bow staff hero, or staff hero. Um, I chose bow staff because there is a staff vassal weapon, but that's like a magical staff. This is a stick. Now, given I have made different like versions of it, like different things that he can do, so he's not gonna be hitting people with a stick, even though that is what he's mostly going to do. Real funny, I know. Um, but yeah, if you are new to my channel, I post 3 times a week. This is my third time posting this very week. On Monday and Wednesday, I post. Other times, I post on Mondays and not Thursday, Wednesdays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my uploading days or slash recording days. And you can call me Wheat Anime. Annie was with an I like anime. So, haha, wordplay. You can find me on social media, all at Wheat Anime. Um, and I tend to rant a lot during my videos. So I'm sorry. You might also hear background noise. I'm very sorry about that. I post these outside. Well, not post, record these outside. I have very bad internet at home. So, there you go. Um, I made all these by myself. The art I had help with. Well, this is the Rage stuff, which you will be getting soon in episodes. Next part, I don't remember, but he gets it. Okay. Uh, yeah. Is there anything else I would like to plug? Oh yeah, do the gross YouTube things. They're not gross because I actually help they help me and other YouTubers out. So please if you want to. I don't care. I'd appreciate it if you do. Subscribe if you like the video and would like to see more of my channel. I post, like I said, I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Um, every Monday is what if Asta had water magic, and Wednesday is what if Deku was Akaza's reincarnation, and well, Friday, which I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm recording it on Friday. And well, Fridays is what if Naofumi was the legendary bow staff hero, right? Okay. I also do minor impressions. They're not good. I change my voice to represent every character. Well, nearly every character. Sometimes it is just playing out my voice as the character, right? If you like the Rising of Shield Hero, what if I have another one, my very first one, which is the legendary Knuckle Hero. Well, what if Naofumi was the legendary Knuckle Hero? You can find it on my channel. I need to still put that into a playlist, so if you'd like to wait a little bit longer to, well, let me put that in a playlist, I'd appreciate it. Uh, yeah, without a further ado, let me get a drink of water. I think you should too. And allow me, well, and then we can get started. Okay. Yeah, I sometimes mix up my words, so I also stutter. I don't talk a lot besides uploading these, so please bear with me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you. We can see now for me in the same clothes as he was in canon being summoned. He would wake up mysteriously after opening a book about a faraway land or well, to his reality, a different dimension, different world where he has a stick. Him and three other, um, relatively similar in age group. Um, Naofumi's 20. Motayasu's like, I think 22. Uh, Itsuki and Rin are both teenagers, like 15, 17-ish. At least I believe that is it. I believe. Right? So, yeah. After being summoned to this world, they would all be quite wary of their whereabouts and seeing people in front of them. Um, well, not Midoriya. Naofumi would start to just take it all in. He would be mostly talking about this in his head. He wouldn't be really much saying some stuff outside, like actually speaking, but talking to himself in the head, thinking, that's thoughts. He would be thinking, well, I have a stick. Uh, these other three have actual weapons. I mean, given this is a weapon, but it's not as straightforward as the other guys. Um, okay, okay. Well, this is most certainly going to be an adventure, a series of events that may or may not change my life forever. These other guys seem to be from Japan as well, or, well, clearly being summoned from a time period of Japan. These guys in front of us leading us to what they said was the king. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like that guy. Seem to be very medieval um, church folk. Okay, cool. I have a feeling I could use this to knock these guys out. My only question is, do I remember watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at all as a kid? I know I did, but do I think I could do it as good as Donatello? Most likely not. It's gonna take time. They have very, um, very straightforward weapons. The guy has a spear, the blonde guy. Well, the taller blonde. The shorter blonde has a bow, at least from what it looks like, and from what he has said. The guy beside me, the kid, he seems like to be 16, 17-ish. They both do. The other guy might be older than me. I don't know. But yet, he has a sword. Okay, okay. I'll just sit here and listen. And listen is what he would do. He wouldn't really speak unless spoken to, like directly. See, once they got to the king, Naofumi would be looking around, just looking at possible, like, exits or well, mostly the other people in the room, right? But yeah, he wouldn't really take that to mind because it doesn't really matter. They are most likely stronger than him, faster than him, and whatever else. But yet, he would still keep it in mind that there are multiple people in this room. Knights, the king, and what the king said are other adventurers. And he would really be thinking of, well, they were summoned as legendary heroes to calm the calamity, right? But yet he's a little confused about that. I mean, given how wouldn't you be? You just got summoned to a different world because of their problems. Given, Naofumi is really surprised about that. They have issues, they need help. Cool. He's willing to help. He's not bossy like the other three who are demanding these answers. Naofumi would just listen and nod. He would, like the other three would be looking at him about how, like, are you going to agree with us and demand the answers? And Naofumi would say, you all are taking this way too serious. I mean, given we were summoned to a different world, but we gotta hear them out. They clearly need help, right? So, I believe we should listen, and maybe if they would allow us to think about it for a day, rest of this day, and maybe we can think about it. That just seems the best idea for me, at least. That's what I would like to do. I'm not going to immediately. I need to think about this. And that is fine. Fine. Um, oh, I'm sorry. Naofumi Iwatani. Um, and I know you're the king, but the king of. Oh, I'm the king of Malamark. This is the kingdom you are in currently. Um, okay. Okay. Yeah. As I was saying, if you would allow me and my, uh, I guess the other heroes to think about it over a day or the rest of the day and give you the answer tomorrow, I think we could do real good here and stop your problem and we get to eventually go home. Eventually. Um, I'm not gonna guarantee we gotta go home. This I don't care. Okay. Um, if you just promise to send us home or find out a way how to if you don't know how to, I think we'll have a great partnership. Okay, you are the only one talking sense. Okay, um, so he would go on to ask the other knights within a night or two to bring them along their way to show them their rooms, or well, room. So they would all go in there and they'd start talking between themselves, getting to know each other more and more, getting actually introduced to each other, and then talking about what period of Japan they're from individually, which would be whole entire different periods of time. Not really different periods, but different versions of Japan, as in, well, the canon. They would all be talking about their weapons and saying how cool they are, and then, well, they would bring up, Naofumi just has a stick. And, well, Naofumi would say, actually, it's not really a stick, it's a full-on, like, metal, like, staff. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Donatello, yeah, I believe this is what this is, but it's full-on metal. Um, I'd say probably around, like, 15, 20 pounds, I don't know. So, they would quickly find out that they can't use each other's weapons. Like, Naofumi would offer it to, like, Rin and say, here, hold this. Or not hold this, but, here, check this out. He would go to touch it, he would grab it, but then it would just shock him. Naofumi would say, are you okay? Rin would say, yeah, I'm fine. Uh, how? Well, I mean, from the way it looked, it did it as soon as you grabbed onto it. Yeah, I figured that out. I have a feeling that we can't use any other weapons. You think? Now for me? I think I know. Motoyasu. Jeez. Anyways, I'm gonna go get some shut eye. Yeah, but we talked about it enough, so I think we're done. At least I know my answer. I don't know about you all. You all can talk about it. And that's what they would do. They would talk about it. They would talk over more and more throughout the, well, not all of the rest of the night, but a lot of it. Into the next day, they would all give their answers as a yes. And so the king would bring in multiple adventurers. I realized that the adventurers wouldn't have been in that first day. It would have been the only the knights. So yeah, sorry. So the adventurers would come in, and the adventurers would start to pick their own, well, the parties. All of them going into, well, the other three. None for Naofumi until mine would say, "Oh, I can go do it. I can be part of his team." And well, that's how the adventure would start, and it would become nearly a very quick end for Naofumi. See, within the first day, they would Naofumi would say, we don't gotta spend the money on armor yet. I would like to get comfortable with the weapon first. Um, and then we can talk about armor. I know they're dangerous, I get that. I'm just thinking rationally here. Well, irrationally, I guess, technically, without getting armor. I'd just rather do this, then we can come back in a couple hours. And mine would say, oh, yeah, let's do that. So they would head out and start. Well, Naofumi would start hitting balloons. He would take out multiple orange balloon monsters, like multiple. And as they would get back in, Naofumi would go sell it. See, he didn't really trust mine, so he's gonna say, "Oh, hey, mine, will you head? You told me what shop it was, so I'm gonna go and use the bathroom, restroom. Oh, okay, I'll head there. You know the directions. Yeah, yeah. So he would head off in a way where, like, towards the stalls, he would turn the corner, go down a little bit just in case she was following. He would go down and then turn into an alley. He would go through the alley, slipping through multiple doors and, well, not doors, but alleyways, until he would find a like a like a big pile of rocks. He doesn't really get why they're there, but he's gonna get the money that he got from selling the orange balloons and a a small portion of the money that the king gave him and hide it away. Just in case, he would keep that location in mind and then head back to Erhard's blacksmith blacksmith shop. So as they would be going, well, as he would return, she would already be at there in talking with him. He would walk in, and Erhard would say, "Hey, there's the hero. You got a stick." Yeah, we don't gotta talk about it. It's heavy though, like 15, 20 pounds. It would just be laying across his back. So, are we talking armor? Yeah, I just would like to have some that would, um, I would still like to maneuver around. Just like I don't know, like leg armor, like a, like a plate on my thighs, and like, I don't know. Um, we might be able, I don't know yet. Well, show me how you move, and then we can settle from there. A weird start to his shopping spree, technically, but it would happen. He would show off the little bit he can do. He would be able to spin it in front of him already because of his obsession with Ninja Turtles as a kid. Um, he did only a little bit do a class on where he would be learning how to use a bow staff, so he would know a little bit how to move it around and how to use it. But that's been 15, 17 years, probably 15 years since he's ever done it, and he only did do it for a year. So, like, he knows how to do it, but he's not good by any means. Right. So, yeah, not good by any means, but he's not, like, he can still move it fluently. Uh, he's not sloppy with it. He can use it. Earhart would say, "Okay, I think I know what to get for you." And he would head to the back, grabbing just multiple stuff, like multiple pieces of, like, armor, right? Just weird stuff. Just, yeah, that, yeah, that would work. Yeah. And then he would come back out, set it on the ground. Well, not on the ground, on the counter. Naofumi would rummage through it and say, "Yeah, we can do this." As he would pick up the money, it would cost nearly all of his money that he didn't hide away. He is left with 20 gold pieces and 15 silver and a few copper left after change. And plus, he gave a tip. He likes Earhart quite a bit. He seems like a cool guy. I think he thinks he could get along with him. Like, he's gonna come back to him because he like his stuff. Okay? So he would hand him the money. Nothing would put on the armor and he would say, "You know what time it is, mine?" Mine would say, yeah, I do. I believe it is 5 because you went out at 8, 2 hours, and then we walked around the village, in the kingdom for a little bit, and then we came here, and yeah, I believe it's around 4:30, I believe. So we got enough time to train more. Let's go. And he would just bust through the door. He would go running. Mine would, as she would walk away, she would wave at Earhart and then smirk. And then we'll time skip to the very next day, mid morning, like at dawn. Like it's just turning. Like there's barely any light out. Naofumi would be woken up by multiple men charging into the room. And well, I think we all know what's going to happen here. He would be accused of doing something to mine. I'm not going to say it because I believe it would get me demonetized. And so, I'm not going to say it, but we all know what happened. Being accused of this would eventually lead him to being kicked out and them taking the money that he had. Well, mine already took the money and took his clothes, took the armor that he had. And so he would be left to the wolves, thrown out of the kingdom, never want to be seen again. As he would be walking down, people have already heard the information. Earhart would pull him to the side, slam against the wall, and start just yelling at him. Now, Fumi would say, "You can believe what you want, but I know it's not the truth. I was framed, okay? Anyways, I'll be going. Kid, wait. Come back here." He would turn around. He would turn around and walk a couple steps, and Earhart would say, "Hold on." He would walk in, grab something, come out, a green cloak with a hood. He would give it to Naofumi and say, "It's on the house. Now, don't go dying, kid." He would walk away. Naofumi would walk out. Well, he would walk through, a little bit of the street and then dip into an alleyway. Following the route he vividly remembered of how he got there. Well, to the pile of rocks. Seeing it not been touched by anyone from the day before, besides himself, he would walk to it. He would uncover some rocks, move some rocks until he would uncover the small pouch of money, which would have 100 silver pieces, um, uh, 25 gold pieces, and quite a bit of copper, like 100 copper, or like 75-ish, 100 to 75 copper, so like 83 copper. He would stuff it into his pocket. He would go back around, back to the end. He would sneak around. He would drop the money. Well, drop some money. Enough, like a couple silver pieces, and book it out of there. Out of the kingdom as he would go and train. After a while of being, and at this point, level 10 already, it would be nearly midnight, and he would come walking back into the city. I mean, kingdom. As he would walk through, nobody would be stirring. Not there would be barely any like stalls open. That well, probably none. But the bars would be alive, and so he would walk into one, mostly to drunk people or people who are trying to forget the previous day with alcohol. He would walk in, go to the front, and ask, just give me some. Um, he would ask for the cheapest meal they had because he doesn't really need a lot. He just needs enough to, well, fill him back up. So, getting that meal, giving them the money, taking it, eating it down, finishing his drink, three people would walk behind him and say, well, isn't it the staff hero? We can be your. That would be one guy. Another guy would say, hey, we can join your party if you need somebody. Naofumi would just plan and say, no thanks, as he would walk up and proceed out of the building. As those three would still follow him out, the last guy, the middle guy, would say, we weren't offering, we were demanding. Well, I don't like when people demand stuff out of me. Okay? So either beat it, or things are gonna go bad. What are you gonna do? You're one guy versus us three. And yet, that won't help you. As he would reach up to his shoulder, he would grab the bow staff, take it off his shoulder, put it in his hand in front of him, slamming it on the ground, and he would turn around and say, go. Yeah, no, that ain't happening. We're gonna take everything you have and then say the bow staff hero attacked us. Or you're gonna let us join. Yeah, no. As he would turn around and swing, hitting one guy in the face, cracking a bunch of bones, he would be out immediately. Spinning it around in his hand, it would go back to his back as he would hold it to the side. As he would say, one down. Either you can drag your friend away now and you two get unscathed, or you can end up like that guy. As one would, and he would, with his blade, he would attack. Missing by a dodge, or, well, moving out of the way, he would be hit in the back of the head, flat to the ground. The last guy would say, what? How? How? We were three guys. We're level 3. How strong are you? Way stronger than you'd ever think. As he would drive his staff into the guy's stomach, lifting him up in the air and slamming him onto his back on the other side. As he would say, yeah, I'm going to take your stuff. He would put his staff back on his back, and he would just start rummaging through their pockets, finding a few, like 5 silver pieces and 10 copper per one. And so he would be on his way until he would meet a man. This being the slave trader. As he would say, "Well, good show back there." And what of it? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm here to give you business. See, I like you. I like the way you work. You're not scared. You don't care if they like you or not. And I like that because I don't care either. I don't care if they like me or not. I'm here to run a business. Are you interested? And, what'd that business be? Why don't you come and see? As he would turn around and start walking throughout an alley. Naofumi would say, why not? And he would follow him onto it, all the way to a big tent. They would walk in, as the slave trader would say, "Looky here, I am in the business of trading." So you're in human trafficking. Well, not all of them are human, you see. In this world of ours, we have a race called demi-humans. What are those? Well, come on, follow me. He would walk through and through. A bunch of monsters would be on one side. Well, more monsters. As they keep on walking through, they would take a turn. And the slave trader would say, "These are demi-humans." There would be multiple within cages. Some children's, well, what they look to be children. At least what Naofumi thinks are children. He's not very sure. Sorry, I'm a very paranoid person, and I keep on hearing that thing, and I don't know what it is. Hi, it's a chipmunk. That's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing something else. Anyways, so Naofumi would look into multiple cages, seeing some sickly ones, some injured, some not injured or sick, but they would be all in a relatively bad shape, right? They would be all in a relatively bad shape, as Naofumi would say, "What's the deal with these two?" As he would point into a cage, seeing one taller one, like probably adult, with black hair, well, black and white hair, relatively pale skin, and blue. Well, I don't know. I don't exactly remember what it is. Like type of clothing. Uh, right. I don't really exactly remember the clothing of the character. Is this? Yeah, there she is. Okay, hold on. Dun, 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 Uh, she would have blue clothing, a crop top, and what it seems to be well, what Naofumi would call tattoos, but on her forearms and some on her like waist. This being Sedina, and right beside her would be Raftalia, and we all know who she is. Oh, well, the taller one I got from, well, another trader in my business. And the other one, I, well, I get it. How much for the pair? They seem close. I'm not trying to rip away from family. Well, the shorter one would usually go for 20 gold pieces. The taller one, though, depending on what you want to do with her. I'm not a freak. Don't put that in the air. Okay, I'm not gonna judge. The taller one, uh, I don't know. Uh, 50 gold pieces? Okay, so 75. 65. How about 70? Call it even. And plus, I'll put a little extra in. I'll put a discount on the slave crest. Okay, so 70 for the pair. And how about 30 for the slave crest? Okay. Well, good doing business with you. Have fun. Oh, and Shield Hero. Not Shield Hero. Staff Hero. I'd like to talk to you about a different proposition before you go. Okay. And then we'll time skip. They would be outside of the. Well, they would actually be inside Earhart's shop. Earhart would say, Man, you're working good, kid. You got a kid now? That you work quick. Not not my kid, man. That's not my kid. Neither of them are. Um, I'm not proud. You know this big tent out in like town? Yeah, him. Oh, the slave trader. Yeah. Did you get it on discount? Apparently. I mean, 100 gold pieces for all of it. So, I don't know. I think, honestly, probably pretty good. Yeah, no kidding. He doesn't cut cheap. I've got some friends that are adventurers. Not good people. Uh, how I get most of my ore to do my stuff here. Um, they buy stuff off of him. And, 1,000 gold pieces for 3 of them, and you're telling me you only got all of that stuff for 30. I mean, 100 gold pieces. Yeah, I guess. He might like me or something. I did also threaten him. Not really, but he could probably tell it through my eyes. He's a smart man. He's probably been doing this for a while. Hello? Aren't you gonna introduce yourself? Staff hero? Oh, right. Hi, I'm Naofumi Iwatani. Hi. I'm the guy with the stick. You know something, Naofumi. There wasn't always a guy with a stick. What? Earhart would pipe up and say, "Yeah, don't know how they did it, but there was a shield hero. So they changed a shield to a stick. Yeah, that makes real sense. That makes total sense to me. Yeah, it truly doesn't. I don't really got money now, but them food took it. Well, actually, they were both semi-sick. I did something for that doctor. Got him plans, sold that to him. He gave me a medicine book. I make medicine now. Uh, Pretty cool. Uh, Crap. Did that thing for the doctor. Uh, she was terribly sick, like badly. She, um, Neither of you has introduced yourself either, but we can deal with that later. Well, I can't help you here. I'm not a charity case anymore. I was about to say you gave me the cloak for free. Anyways, tally ho, we got stuff to do. Wait, hold on. There it is. He would throw the what's left of the pouch that was full of money at Earhard, who would catch it and say, well, Naofumi would say, how much of that will buy those two weapons? Uh, and then we're going to time skip again. It would be a couple days later, outside of the village or kingdom of Malormark. Naofumi would already been, well, truly introduced to Sedina and Raftalia at this point, and would hear their story within the days that we've passed. He wouldn't really care about what the shield hero was. Uh, he's the bow staff hero, so he's worried about his own living. Um, the weapons they would currently have would be not the greatest. Um, Naofumi would also be creating stuff mostly by hand. Um, right, like in canon, he would have the hammer and like mortar and pestle for the medicine and blah blah blah. So he'd be carrying that. He would look into the money pouch and he would say, "You know, I think we gotta head back into this kingdom one last time since until that uh wave runs around." And why is that? Well, for first, you two don't have weapons that are not broken, and I need new clothes, as you can see. His clothes would be ripped and tore. The cloak would be relatively fine. He would be bandaged up on the shoulder because of a what he thinks is a porcupine, but he really doesn't know. He did take it out though, or well, Raftalia did. Hello, little man. Bye. No, the chipmunk that I was talking about earlier, like ran up and then ran away, like it was a dare. Like that one raccoon video that ran up on the guy and touched his foot and then booked it away. You know what I'm talking about? I hope you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so as well, they would make it back. They would go to Earhard's. Well, he would send Sedina and Raftalia there first, as he would sell the stuff. Right? It would be he would sell it. He would not get a lot for it. He would probably gotten like half of it, like half of what he should have got, but he would say, nah, screw it, I don't care. He would go. He would eventually find Raftalia and Sedina at Earhard's, who would be talking with them. He would walk in and say, I'm guessing they already told you? Yeah, I got you. Just, I'm paid first. Last time, you did it off the whim, and I had to get whatever I had. Not what they wanted, as they've said, but, well, Raftalia. Well, no, Sedina, the taller one. Yeah, her. She said she wanted something way else than the long sword that I gave to you all. Well, to her. And the little one didn't really like the short sword. Knife thing. Well, short sword. I know, that's all I had. I didn't eat that day. I don't care. Anyways, here. He would hand out a separate pouch. He would have another pouch. Before Erhard would go back, he would say, "These two young ladies have been telling me that you need armor. So I got you. Throw me the cloak and, well, we can go from there." He would take off the cloak, throw it to Erhard, who would catch it, as he would head to the back. And then after a little bit, coming out with weapons first for Sedina and Raftalia, and a prototype, a not finished prototype for a staff for Naofumi. He would show it to him, they would talk about it a little bit. Um, Naofumi would go and hold it, and then new staff unlocked. What? Oh yeah. I made it out of a weird metal. I don't know how it works, but apparently, I'm not gonna say this is true at all, but apparently, if you make it into a weapon, and I don't know, something about vibrations, apparently it's made from a creature that can cause small earthquakes. I don't get it, but don't try it out in my humble abode. Yeah, I got it. He would turn and then read up on it. Vibe staff. This staff would allow him to use, well, he could feel vibrations through the staff when it is on the ground. And he could also use vibrations to cause small earthquakes like the creature that Erhard was talking about. Don't know how it was made into a metal, but Naofumi's not going to question it. Maybe it had armor, like, that was very similar to metal. He doesn't know. He's not gonna question it. And then Erhard would give him the clothes. Nothing would change. He would have a quite baggy uniform or clothing with open sleeves and baggy pants. The shoulders of the uniform would be slightly raised, and he would have a deep green sash around his waist, which extends in front and back down. Like, instead of just going down on one place where it's tied, it would go down on one in the front and one in the back. Probably both at his left leg. Okay? And then a new large bag would be connected at his waist. And he would have a chest sash that would be also green. And boots. Well, black boots with not else. Just white. Well, not white. Just black boots. And he would have the same cape slash cloak with a fur collar. Um, and he would also have like a chest plate armor piece that would be like how his cloak cape thing would be connecting, right? So yeah, he would be looking spiffy, okay, as they would thank Erhard and they would leave. scouting out an area where the wave is supposed to end up. They scouting it out the previous day. They would camp out there. As the next day, it would arrive. Well, but during that same day, they would head down to the village closest to there. Finding out that there would be gems in the cave, they would head down into the cave. Well, it wouldn't be a very friendly sight down there, especially the monster. The cave would be, well, like an old mining cave with the mine shaft. As they would go down it, eventually it would lead out to a bigger cave where they would see a lot of the gem, which Naofumi would go mine it, as the other two would watch out. Sadina would say, Naofumi, something's coming. Okay, get ready then. I nearly got it all. Master? Help. What? Raftali would be very frightened by, well, the two-headed dog, bringing up bad memories of her past. Sadina would be slightly scared, but wouldn't be showing it. Naofumi would say, Raftalia, get to Sadina. Let's try this out. Come forth, Vibe Staff. A long, the staff before would turn into a long wooden stick, which would split into two rounded points at the top, like a U shape, and the bottom. The both sides would have a cloth wrapping around all three sections of the staff. As Naofumi would slam it on the ground, as he would say, vibration stab. He would slam it on the ground as it would shake. Yeah, I'll have to write that down later. As he would slam it down, though the ground would be shaking, a large split would come shooting out as it would turn into a spike. The ground would split and a spike would shoot out. Like, not a long, like, stone spike, but it would still be stone. It would just be a sharpened, like, spike. It would shoot out, stabbing into the large two-headed dog monster. Right in its, like, head area, like its left head. Just going straight through it, sticking out on the other side. As Naofumi would run up, jump up, bring the staff down, boom, onto the same head, hitting the wooden, like the stone spike, making it break. Him grabbing the, like the half that would break, throwing it at Sadina, who would say, "Oh, you fight nice," and she would hit the spike back, going straight through the left, like dog head, like the neck of the dog head thing, straight through like a bullet. Boom! As Naofumi would be jumping up again, slamming his staff down onto the other dog head, who would buckle down under it, but yet reach up and bite Naofumi in the leg, in his right leg, and it would slam him down onto the ground. He would crater into the ground, but it would bounce back up so that he would be able to dodge the next attack. He would be crouching down, holding his leg, as Sadina would say, Now for me, I'm fine. God, that hurt. This is why I've always preferred cats. As he would run back up, hitting the ground again, but yet switching staffs. Come forth, rope staff, a long stick that its ends would be covered in rope. As he would say, airstrike staff, as he would thrust the staff forward, hitting the dog in the like the monster in the chest. As the other side, well, the green, translucent energy staff, sorry, would appear behind it, spin around in the air, and slam into the dog. But yet, that wouldn't be enough. It would bite down on Naofumi's shoulders as Sedina would run up, trying to get it off of him. It would turn around and kick her in the stomach, send her flying, crashing into a rock. Naofumi would be holding it there with his staff around its neck so it can't move. Like the head itself can't move. As he would yell out and at Raftali and say, I'm not going to force you to, but we need help. So please, help me. But what about Sedina? Sedina's alive. She's fine. She's just unconscious. Well, at least I think she might be asleep. I don't know. Just help me out here, and then we can heal her and get out of here. But if you don't want to, I can do it. I hope. I might lose a shoulder. Or my life. We'll find out which one comes first. As he would be fighting for strength against the dog monster, Raftalia would get into action, jumping up, bringing her blade straight into the dog's head, unaliving it. It would fall to the ground as Naofumi would make sure its jaws get out of it. Like the jaws would still be in his shoulder, so he would have to rip it out himself as it would fall. Like the head would eventually fall to the ground. Naofumi would say, "You are great. Yeah, I hate dogs." As he would reach down, well, actually, some dogs, and just break a tooth and put it into his staff, and he would say, he would just, hey, Reptalia, check on her. All right, what about you? I'll be fine for now. I'm gonna get whatever I can from this stupid thing. As he would start ripping out its fangs, taking a bit of its fur, the hair from it, and just putting it all into his staff. In the bag would be like the book, like the medicine book, uh, like the gym making stuff, or mostly that type of stuff. Like the stuff he can't put into his staff would be in the bag on the back, like on his back. Okay, yeah, we gotta get out of here. So Dina would wake up, see Naofumi in this condition, and say, well, I guess you'll need someone to take care of you, won't you? Yeah, no, I'll be fine. God, come on. They would make their way out of the cave with the gems in hand, making out of there, getting back to the village, buying some medical stuff from there, and then heading out of the village, a little bit out of it, to camp for the night. And then eventually the wave would begin. They would, Naofumi's party would head to the village. seeing that, well, being summoned to an area a little bit further of where they are, they would already be seeing the other heroes heading into a random direction, which Naofumi would say they're heading towards the boss. Let them deal with it. Let's take care. We need to check on that village. They would head that way. Arriving there, as Naofumi would say, you two, um, how about where you can? I'll handle the middle and the monsters. Get the people out of here. And then come back, help. I'd appreciate it. Naofumi would run in first, slamming the staff into a skeleton creature, smashing the head like the skull into bits, as he would say, "You're welcome." As he would continue walking, just beating onto like the massive bees and the other skeletons. Just boom, 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 using the airstrike staff to clean up like the stuff that he won't be able to get into time, but he can get to it with the airstrike staff. As he'd be running through, getting multiple levels, uh, eventually nights would arrive. Running through as a monstrosity of a massive skeleton would have a massive club like spiked club in its hand as it would be about to crush the captain of the team multiple knights. Naofumi would hit it. It would bounce back as he would bring the staff over and crush its skull. As it would fall backwards, Naofumi would fall down and say, "You might want to watch your back." As he would run around, start cleaning up, just attacking more and more. As Sedena and Raftalia would be getting the civilians or the villagers out of there. Sedena would be at the back, like picking him up and getting him to there. Right? They would be able to. Well, Sedena would be able to hear them, like Naofumi fighting at this point. As you would be able to hear him yell and say, "Man, I get why Donatello really enjoys this." He would be spinning it around multiple times, just colliding. Well, the staff would be colliding with just skeletons and bees as they would be coming at him in a multitude, in a horde. But yet he would be cleaning him up. As the knights would see this, the captain would say, leave him there. Let's go help the heroes with the boss." Him and multiple other knights would go with him, but I believe the vice captain and other knights would stay there and fight, going to their formation and fighting off the incoming, multiple incoming hordes from a different area of skeleton and bees and other monsters. Naofumi would see this and say, "I guess some of them aren't bad, but that captain was a piece of crap." As he'd be just hitting multiple skeletons at once with like a sweep and a like a jab, I guess, or like a lunge, but he would be spinning it all around his body. It would float around as he would grab it by the end and slam it into a massive skeleton's knee. It would collide with the knee. It would break. As he would bring it up, he would throw it up in the air. As he would jump up, grab it, and bring it overhead with both arms, like a double-handed weapon, and boom, bring it down on top of the massive skeleton's head. And after doing that for a while, Sedena and Raftalia would eventually come back into the village and help clean it out. as the knights would too. And after after a while, the wave would end. The boss has been defeated, and this village is safe-ish. And so the things would happen. Naofumi would be invited back to the capital for a banquet, which, with a lot of encouraging from his party and a nicer knight, well, the vice captain of that squad that ran into him, and just a knight of that squad would beg him of coming, and plus his party. So Dana and Raftalia would also want to go there. And so he would say, "Fine. Oh, God. Fine. Whatever. We can go." And that's where I'm going to end part one of What If Naofumi was the legendary bow staff hero. I hope you all enjoyed. I truly do. I hope you come back for the next part. And if you would, you don't have to. I'd appreciate it if you check out my other what ifs that I mentioned previously. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will be posting new what ifs. Well, not new ones, but new episodes of the series that I'm currently on. And until they end, there will be no new what ifs. But yet, if you have also, well, if you have any what if ideas, put them down below. I'll put them on my list. And I will probably get to them in the near future. We'll just have to see. And if you want to see more Naofumi what ifs, I am currently working on one in my own time. Uh, I gave a little hint to it at the beginning on how he would much rather be something else. So that might be the next one, unless I work on something else within the time, which I probably won't. I'll probably stick to the one I'm working on and then work on any other, like my other what ifs I have ideas for. So yeah, I thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening, night. I don't know when you're watching this. I hope you just have a great time. The rest of your, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Hope to see you all next time. Roll the dice. Bye bye.